It's the old West Frontier and cattle's the game. You've got an ever-growing herd of cattle that you've got to run up to Kansas City. But once you're there, job's not done. You gotta get on home, grab the next herd, and do it all again. We are running cattle in Great Western Trail, which is published by eggertspiele and designed by Alexander Pfister. Hi everybody, my name is Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph. We're here with Board Game Geek, and today's In Focus is sponsored by the BoardGameGeekStore. We've got a diverse group of cattle and it's time to sell, so let's get this game down to the table and go in focus on Great Western Trail. Great Western Trail is a trailblazing deck builder where players will be making rounds going up to Kansas City, where they will turn in their hand of cattle and then head back to the start to do it all again. Each player will have a player board with various powers they can unlock and a place to hold employees. Players will also have a starting deck of cattle, which can be improved upon throughout the game by acquiring better and more diverse breeds. On their turn, a player will move along the trail up to Kansas City. Each movement point takes the cattleman to the next building on the board. In the beginning of the game, this will move quickly, but as time goes by and players put out buildings of their own, it takes longer and longer to get to Kansas City. Where a player's piece stops dictates which actions they will take. Each building has actions shown on the bottom of their tile. These actions include discarding cattle for money, placing a building on the board, buying new cattle, hiring employees, moving their train, dealing with hazards, and more. If a player does not want to take an action or they stop on another player's building, they will take one of the auxiliary actions shown on their player board. Once a player moves up to Kansas City, they will sell their cattle and ship them down the road. All right, everybody, I've got a Dutch Belt, a Texas Longhorn, and two, count them, two West Highlands. All right, let's open up the bidding at $15. Okay, $8. Anybody? Anybody? You, sir? Selling cattle takes a few steps. When the player reaches Kansas City, they will first put out tiles onto the board. These will either be hazards to clog the way, Native Americans to trade with, or new employees that will be placed in the job market to be hired. Each time a row is filled based on player count, the job market token will be pushed down. Then players will sell their cattle, but the buyers of cattle are only interested in different breeds, so any repeat breeds in a player's hand will not count towards the sale. The player will then receive money for the sum total of cattle they're selling, and then they will deliver them to a city. The cities increase in value as they move farther away from Kansas. A player can deliver their cattle to any city up to the value of the cattle they sold. For example, if the player sold 6 worth of cattle, they could ship to Colorado Springs, Wichita, Topeka, or just leave them in Kansas City. When a player chooses where to ship to, they will remove a disc off their player board, unlocking that ability, and then they will place it in the city to signify that they delivered there. The more cities a player delivers to, the more points they'll receive. Then the player refills the Kansas City area and their cattleman is placed back at the start to make the trek again. Play will continue until the job market token is pushed off the board, then each other player will take one more turn and the game will end. Players will count up their points and the highest score will win. Great Western Trail is a big, heavy game with a ton of different strategies. Do you go heavy cattle and just try to make the biggest, best hand of cattle you possibly can? Or you can put out a ton of buildings, or move your train forward. And that's not even talking about all the different actions you can do, which discs to take off your player board, which cities to ship to. There's a lot. There's a lot going on in this game. If that seems like something you might enjoy, make sure to check out Great Western Trail's page on BoardGameGeek.com and join the discussion. And if you want to get a set of the Geek Up bags you saw featured throughout this video, make sure to check out the Board Game Geek Store. Until next time, I've been Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph. We're here with Board Game Geek, and we've been going in focus on Great Western Trail. Have a great day.